In Skullgirls, Eliza is a character focused primarily on dominating the mid-range using her large pokes and establishing sticky pressure through her solid air normals and air dash. Her game plan is relatively simple, which is that bit of added spice to her kit through summons and skeletons. Eliza has 3 summons. First of all, Light Kick is thrown, which is kind of like a projectile, but it's not. MK is Horus, it's an overhead combo starter and situational anti-air. And finally, HK is Albus, which is a command grab that tracks full screen, excellent tool to deal with someone who's trying to zone you out. Sekhmet is the unique thing about Eliza. This is a stance you can enter or form where you are fully armored, you can only be hit out of it using either sweep property moves or grabs that includes hit grabs. While you are in it, you get access to a whole new moveset, 7 different moves in particular, including a suite of pretty good overheads, one kind of subpar low, and some big damage confirms. Okay, so let's run through some of these buttons. Jumping medium kick does have a hurt box that comes out before the hitbox, so it isn't invuln or disjointed or anything. However, on grounded hit leads to a full combo, and on air hit you can convert using Sekhmet JH. Crouching light kick is far, fast, plus on block and hit, and one of Eliza's best combo starters in general. Standing heavy punch is the last one that I want to talk about as far as normals. It's a 3-part move. The first hit is completely disjointed all along the staff, second hit pulls you in, the third one is an overhead and leads to big damage. The last button I want to talk about is heavy DP. This button is full invuln on the startup, you can Kara-cancel into it, on hit you can jump cancel it, which is very important because it means that you can just DP the assist, jump back, you can't punish it. Standing medium punch is probably her best anti-air and one of the best anti-airs in the game. Right when the hitbox comes out, it's extremely disjointed and you get a full combo off of it on hit. Some other good anti-airs include 5 light punch, although situational, Airthrow, which is a very good starter as well, carries with a lot to the corner, and Horus, which will combo even on trade. Horus is especially good at catching things directly above your head. All of your aerials are overhead except for j.LK, only on the way up. For this reason, you normally want to be using it after an IAD, normally in conjunction with either jumping medium punch or heavy punch. Sekhmet has its own suite of overheads, namely it has jumping light and medium as well as 5H. Finally, your medium kick summon Horus is safe on block and an overhead, however if they are in the air you can land cancel punish it. Eliza's lows are pretty self-explanatory. 2 LK is your fast one, 2 MK sucks in, 2 MP is used to confirm, and 2 HK is your sweep property move. Before getting into too much of the combos and resets, I feel like this is something that should be probably mentioned, and that's the Kara-Airdash. You can Kara cancel the startup of your jump to keep yourself lower to the ground with jumping heavy punch. You can then air dash. This means that when you're up close, you don't get the cross up, and while this is kinda devious, if you want to get a low air dash near to the ground that's more plus, you can cancel the startup with jumping heavy punch to get lower to the ground and keep your sticky pressure going. Alright, so first let's go over just the main B&B and then we'll go over some other conversions. So the main one that you're going to be wanting to use is this route. This is your day one, this is everything routes into this. Does pretty good damage, uses up OTG though, so if you don't have it off of your starter, it will not confirm. At the end of all these combos, you can also super, but just be aware, you have to give up either Oki or Mix for it. After Airthrow, you can pick up with the crouching medium kick. This can then route into a pretty similar combo. You're going to start to see a lot of similarities between all these routes, and this makes Eliza a pretty straightforward character to get into like autopilot mode with on a lot of these confirms. This combo does do a lot of corner carry, so you will end up in the corner, making super even more disadvantageous afterwards, as you can see. The regular throw combo can be a little bit tricky to get at first. You're going to want to cancel that into jumping medium kick as early as you can, and then go immediately into 214 HP. This combo after that is pretty straightforward as well, but just be aware it does not work when you're close to the corner. You're going to have to use the next route. Speaking of the corner, when you're in the corner, you get an even easier punish, honestly. You're going to want to route into j.MP, j.HK, and then OTG with 2 MK, go into your regular routing. this is going to be pretty much the bread and butter standard for a lot of things. So this is a route that doesn't use anything special, is pretty straightforward, and just uses the fact that you're in the corner. This can be a good one to start off with, as like, you know, your first combo kind of thing. But once you want to move past this, you can start implementing 2 other things into combos, those being Tiger Knee Horus and Skeleton Mode. So here's a route that utilizes TK Horus. This just means doing your DP and then jump canceling it, canceling the jump startup into Tiger Knee Horus, that just being 2-3-6-9 medium kick. This does a significant amount more damage, so it's going to be something that you're eventually going to want to learn. And while it can be kind of tricky, once you get it, you got it. It's just a Tiger Knee. Finally, here's a route that uses Sekhmet mode in order to extend damage. So these types of extensions can be done mid-screen as well. They're just a little bit easier in the corner sometimes, or easier to optimize in the corner. This combo is not at all beginner friendly. I would not recommend it to people starting out playing. It does a lot of damage, but it's mostly here for people like me who get into a new game and immediately just want to go for really hard combos. Finally, you do have combos that will actually get you positive health. Most of these involve using Bite Super to spawn a bunch of little orbs, and then hitting with multi-hits and Sekhmet. This is just an example of a 2-bar thing that heals a lot of health. Once you get a double snap, there are a couple different routes that you can do. This is the one that generally is the easiest, however it is also the slowest. Will build the most meter for your opponent and builds no meter whatsoever for yourself, as it doesn't use any specials. Once you want to get a little bit more optimal, you can start using this route. This one can be pretty tricky, but isn't too bad and doesn't require any really hard inputs. Finally, this is the big one, the double snap that everyone knows Eliza for and has seen her do before. It is just a bunch of Tiger Knee DPs. It is very hard, it changes depending on weight, however it is fast and will build you a ton of meter. Resets in this game are very complicated and very up to player expression, so these are by no means all of them. This is just an idea of some of the stuff that you can do. I'd highly encourage playing around and messing and looking at other stuff. If you trigger IPS with Sekhmet, you can just hit 4-4 or backdash, and then be able to punish it with a burst bait. Anytime you do a launcher, you can choose to either Kara from j.LK into Airthrow, or just do raw Airthrow afterwards. This will work way more than you think. 2 HP as a launcher gives you access to a lot of tricky mix-ups. A lot of the cross-unders and stuff can be pretty tight, but just be aware that a lot of these setups may leave room to mash out, may leave room to do reversals and stuff, especially if they hit the ground. A lot of characters in this game do not have air reversals. There are some exceptions, but just be aware that if you let them touch the ground, there is a lot better chance that you're about to get mashed out on. This is a setup utilizing the Kara-Airdash in order to get a cross-under with the low profile of 2 HP. You can also go same side, or you can even do air dashes overhead. There's a lot you can do. Play around with it, it's pretty fun. This setup has a lot of variations, so I'm just going to go through a couple of them. By no means is this complete or extensive. There's actually a really good tutorial by bananacat, a good Eliza player, on how to implement all of these different setups, what the options are. There's a whole long laundry list of things you can do, but these are just a couple to give you an idea of like the type of things you can do. Skullgirls is definitely one of those games where you want to play around, you want to see and have like your own type of things, so I would highly recommend just go and train them and mess around with resets. They're fun. Last thing I want to go over is any time that you're doing a combo that involves doing jumping light kick into jumping medium punch, you can go for a low high throw. This one is very tricky, and especially off the overhead with the Sekhmet starter, the combo does a lot of damage and keeps Undizzy pretty low near the starter.